Imagine a world where your thoughts aren't truly your own, where your deepest convictions are just echoes of the crowd, and your choices, seemingly independent, are merely ripples in a vast ocean of collective delusion. What if the very fabric of your individuality, your autonomy, is constantly under siege by an invisible force, compelling you to conform, to follow, to blend in, often against your better judgment? Why does nobody genuinely talk about herd mentality, not in hushed tones, not as a psychological quirk, but as a potential societal threat that silently shapes our entire reality, from the products we buy to the beliefs we hold sacred? To truly grasp the insidious nature of this phenomenon, we must journey back to its origins, not just in psychology, but in the very core of our evolution. For millennia, being part of the group meant survival. Deviation often led to isolation, and in the harsh realities of the ancient world, isolation meant death. This primal instinct, deeply embedded in our DNA, predisposes us to seek belonging, to mimic the behaviors of those around us, and to find comfort in consensus. We are, at our core, social creatures, and the drive to avoid ostracization is a powerful, often subconscious, motivator. This isn't just about peer pressure in high school, it's a fundamental operating system of the human mind. Take, for instance, Solomon Ashe's conformity experiments in the 1950s. Participants were asked to match the length of a line, a task so simple it seemed impossible to get wrong. Yet, when Confederates actors disguised as other participants deliberately chose the incorrect line, an astonishing 75% of subjects conformed at least once, ignoring the clear evidence of their own eyes. They knew the answer was wrong, but the desire to not stand out, to not be seen as an outlier, overrode their perception of reality. They sacrificed truth for belonging. It's a chilling demonstration of how easily our individual judgment can be swayed by the collective, even when the collective is demonstrably, objectively wrong. And Ash's work was just the tip of the iceberg, a precursor to even more disturbing revelations about our psychological vulnerability. Today, the mechanisms of herd mentality have evolved, becoming far more sophisticated and pervasive than anything Ash could have imagined. We are no longer just in a room with a handful of Confederates. We are ceaselessly connected to billions of voices, a global chorus of opinions, trends, and anxieties. Social media platforms designed to connect us have inadvertently become powerful amplifiers of this collective sway. Algorithms curated to maximize engagement often funnel us into echo chambers where dissenting views are suppressed and the herd's voice grows louder, more uniform. Look at viral trends, whether harmless dances or dangerous challenges. They spread not because of inherent quality, but because everyone else is doing them. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a modern manifestation of our ancient drive to belong. Why is a product suddenly desirable? Often simply because everyone else is buying it, creating an artificial surge in demand, regardless of its actual utility or value. The political landscape provides an even more sobering illustration. In an increasingly polarized world, individuals often align themselves rigidly with a group, adopting its entire ideological framework without critical examination. Dissenters within the group are often silenced or rejected, forcing conformity for the sake of maintaining a united front. This isn't about thoughtful political discourse, it's about tribal allegiance. When a leader says something, followers often rationalize it, dismiss contradictory evidence, and embrace the narrative simply because it's our narrative. Fact-checking becomes less important than group cohesion. This phenomenon transcends specific ideologies. It's a fundamental vulnerability of human group dynamics exploited by populists and demagogues throughout history. The financial markets offer another stark example. Bubbles and crashes are often fueled by irrational exuberance or panic, where investors follow the perceived wisdom of the crowd, buying into a rising market or selling in a falling one, often making decisions contrary to fundamental economic principles. The dot-com bubble burst and the 2008 financial crisis both had strong elements of widespread herd behavior, where fear and greed amplified collective actions, leading to catastrophic outcomes for millions. But things take a much darker, more unsettling turn when we consider the full, terrifying potential of unquestioning conformity. Consider the infamous Stanford prison experiment. Though its methodology has faced scrutiny, its core premise still resonates. Put people in roles and the roles can consume them, leading to startling shifts in behavior driven by situational pressures and perceived group norms. Or move beyond experiments and into the cold, hard reality of history. The Rwandan genocide in 1994, where hundreds of thousands were slaughtered by their neighbors over a period of 100 days. How could such widespread brutality occur? It wasn't just a few rogue actors. It was a societal descent into madness, fueled by propaganda, dehumanization, and the immense pressure to conform. Individuals, previously friends and community members, were swept up in a collective frenzy of hatred and violence. To refuse to participate, to shelter a Tutsi, was to risk becoming a target yourself, to become the other in the eyes of the Hutu power. The collective hysteria, the relentless dehumanization through radio broadcasts, and the omnipresent threat of being perceived as a traitor created an environment where monstrous acts became sanctioned, even expected, group behavior. What they discovered next, in the aftermath, after the international community finally intervened, was a landscape scarred not only by physical violence, but by psychological ruin. Survivors and perpetrators alike wrestled with the unfathomable question: how? How could an entire society turn on itself? The answer, at least in part, lay in the insidious corruption of judgment by the herd. The social fabric had been weaponized. The desire for belonging, for security within the dominant group, had overridden universal moral principles, empathy, and even basic humanity. People rationalized their actions or their inaction by pointing to what everyone else was doing. The "I was just following orders" defense, a hallmark of numerous atrocities, is a direct byproduct of this psychological trap, where individual accountability is diffused within the collective. This wasn't just an individual breakdown. It was a systemic failure of individual autonomy in the face of overwhelming group pressure, a chilling testament to how easily our moral compass can be desensitized and overridden when the herd moves in unison towards darkness. To this day, the power of the herd continues to shape our world in ways we rarely acknowledge. We implicitly trust aggregated reviews online, often without scrutinizing individual data points. We follow fashion trends, often without considering if they genuinely suit our personal style. We adopt new technologies, not always because they offer a significant advantage, but because everyone has them. The silence around herd mentality isn't accidental. It's a testament to its effectiveness. By remaining invisible, by operating at a subconscious level, it maintains its grip. To admit its sway is to confront the uncomfortable truth that our individuality might be more fragile than we care to believe. Yet understanding this susceptibility is our first, and perhaps only, defense. Cultivating critical thinking, challenging assumptions, especially our own, seeking diverse perspectives, and actively seeking out dissenting opinions are not just academic exercises. They are vital acts of intellectual self-preservation in an age where the herd can, and often does, lead us astray. If we want to truly be masters of our own minds, we must first recognize the subtle, pervasive forces constantly vying for control. Otherwise, we risk becoming just another voice in the crowd, echoing sentiments that aren't truly our own, moving in directions we never chose, swept along by a hidden current we refuse to acknowledge.